The guys who are running the biggest content ID scam in YouTube history are now facing a 70-month prison sentence. These guys were indicted by a United States grand jury more than a year ago for running this several years long scam that netted them over $23 million in revenue from YouTube. Now, this is actually a really common scam that takes place on this platform. Basically, what people do is they find a bunch of videos, usually music videos or something like that, because they tend to get a lot of replays, and so the content can ultimately earn them a lot more ad revenue than something that people just watch once. And when they find one of these videos, they go ahead and they make a claim to it. They're basically telling YouTube that they own the copyright to this song or to this creative work. And because of how YouTube is designed, when someone claims to own the copyright of something or when someone claims something isn't fair use, YouTube tends to side with the person that's making the claim. At least initially, unless you're willing to hire a lawyer and take the issue to court and actually really fight for it. But obviously, most people who are just putting their music out on YouTube, trying to make it as an artist, don't have the funds or the time to do that. Or because YouTube just automatically sides with the person making the claim, like that's just their default thing to do. Some of these artists who are really busy, like on tour, doing a bunch of stuff, who do own the copyright, might not even notice that the content has been claimed and whatever amount of money is being made isn't actually going to them. Now, like I said, there's been multiple cases where people make false claims for profit, like kind of small-time profits, but these guys made a big business from it. In 2021, when the pair were indicted, it was discovered that they claimed to own the rights to more than 50,000 Spanish-language songs. And in some instances, these scammers would forge documents and then present them to YouTube as proof that they own the music. And they even went so far as to create this fake company, MediaMov LLC, which I guess they were just pretending was like the Sony Records or Paramount of Latin pop music. Like, yeah, we're MediaMov. We basically own every song that you've ever heard in a Dominican barbershop or hair salon ever. And these guys wouldn't just target small-time artists that were only getting a few views on their YouTube videos. One of the more bold claims that they made was on the music video for Mayamis from the band Piso 21. And this video, at least as of now, has over 850 million views since it was posted 6 years ago, which is around the time that they formed their fake MediaMov company. So this song, like this music video, is basically one order of magnitude less popular than the Despacito video, which I'm sure all of us have seen and heard. So yeah, their indictment here, if we take a look at it, has the initials of a bunch of different popular artists that these scammers have stolen tens of thousands of dollars from. I mean, there's like, what, 4 or 5? Yeah, 4 here that they stole over $100,000 from. And then, yeah, the list just goes on. It's a pretty long list. So yeah, they entered into a plea deal, and they're getting 70 months in prison, and they're having to forfeit a house, 6 bank accounts, a Tesla, a BMW, and a plot of land that they purchased with the money. So that might sound like a pretty harsh sentence, and in fact, the judge handed down this sentence, thinking that it would deter people from doing the same thing in the future. But for this case, I kind of doubt its effectiveness. You know, this scam has been going on since 2016 at least, and the sentence is actually shorter than the length of the scam, if you think about it, from, you know, how long it was going on to when they finally got their sentence handed down. And if these guys were smart, they probably would have laundered a lot of that money or gotten it into offshore accounts or invested it somewhere that they would be able to get access to the money later on, okay? I mean, when you're dealing with that amount of money, you would think that they would have the sense to do something like that. You know, I think the real key here would be for YouTube to just cut off this easy scam, or at least to better regulate the content ID system, since The same system that these guys were using to steal millions of dollars from people is also used to censor people who make commentary about something. Usually it's when someone goes and makes fun of something like a movie or a documentary or whatever, which you should be allowed to do because it's fair use. You know, it's transformative in nature. But you know what makes this 70-month sentence seem even lighter? The fact that the Twitter hacker who ran a $120,000 crypto scam back in July 2020 and then later did a SIM swap hack against an executive at a crypto company for another like 800K or so got about the same amount of prison time for stealing a lot less money, like 20 times less money, because those two crypto hacks ultimately got him just under 1 million worth of crypto. And I mean, even in today's valuation of it, it's only about twice as much now, assuming that he still has access to it. And the Twitter hack was so ridiculous that it almost feels like it was just more of a stupid tax than fraud, because this Plug Walk Joe guy, he basically hijacked the Twitter accounts of really famous people like Obama and Elon Musk and Kanye. And he literally sent tweets from their accounts saying, if you send some Bitcoin to this address, I'll double it for you. Like, honestly, it blows my mind that there's people in this world who both know how to buy and send Bitcoin, but also thought that this Bitcoin doubling was legit. I guess the time pressure of telling people that the doubling is only going to last for 30 minutes was the real sweetener. Like, imagine if scammers in RuneScape did this back in the day. Hey man, trade me your rune armor and I'll trim it for you, but I can only do this in the next 30 minutes because the bug is about to be patched. Trust me, bro, my dad works at Jagex. Now, since this hacker stole crypto, it really makes you wonder how the whole paying restitution thing is going to work. Like, if this hacker still has the crypto in cold storage somewhere and, you know, they lost the private keys in a boating accident on their way to prison, then that money's gone, man. Like, I don't know, maybe they can just get a job and then they're going to have some money lifted out of their paychecks, but I don't see that restitution getting paid back. And, you know, every day there's more people that are on social media. And if our ability to recognize scams doesn't get better or doesn't at least somewhat scale with the number of new people on social media, then I think these kind of scams are just going to become more frequent. I mean, there's going to be more people out there for people to rob. And if you're able to get away with making a few $1,000,000 in exchange for a few years in prison, I think that's a deal that most criminals would make in a heartbeat. But what do you guys think? Is 70 months in prison harsh enough to deter people from trying to run these huge social media scams? Let me know in the comments below. Like and share this video to hack the algorithm, follow me on Odyssey, and have a great day.